Happy Sunday, my friends. This is your weekly tarot forecast for May 8th to the 14th, 2022. So this is a huge week in the stars. This may be the week that changes everything. We have Mercury turning retrograde, we have Jupiter entering Aries, and we have the total lunar eclipse in Scorpio, all within the span of a few days of each other. So on May 10th, that is when Mercury turns retrograde in Gemini. It's going to be retrograde in Gemini and Taurus until June 3rd. And as we know, this is a time to pause, to take a step back, to slow down, to get up to speed with our truth, as opposed to leaning so much on the truth that's offered to us by consensus reality, right? And since we are in eclipse season, we're directly at the midpoint of both eclipses right now. We had our first quarter waxing moon in Leo last night. We have a lot to process right now. We have a lot to think about. This Mercury retrograde in Gemini is really helping us to think about, okay, so what new has come into my life since April 30th, our first eclipse, and what needs to change now as a result of that? How do I need to change in how I'm operating, how I'm thinking about myself, how I'm using my voice, and how I'm moving around the world? So that is a little bit of a support right now that we can really use. On that same day, Jupiter enters Aries, where it will be until October 28th. So this is a little brief intermission that Jupiter is taking in Aries from being in Pisces all year. That's going to give us a preview of what's to come in 2023. So what we start this summer and fall, we will be returning to in 2023. And Jupiter in Aries is a very different energy than it is in Pisces. Jupiter in Pisces is very happy. It is, it can swim in the waters of intuition and dreams and connect us to our emotions very effectively. And Jupiter in Aries is very, this is the warrior, right? We are really shifting in how we're operating and what we're focused on growing in our life. This is like a real push for what it is we want. This is very much about growth of our personal convictions and our desire to do us in a certain way. And it's interesting that Jupiter is in Aries while Mercury is retrograde in Gemini, because while we're reassessing and reviewing how we're moving around in our world, Jupiter in Aries can help us to really sort of reimagine our whole belief system and sense of self, right? Because not only does Jupiter rule growth, but it also rules our ethics and our values and our philosophy of life. So this summer is, in a lot of ways, the summer of reimagining who you are, the summer of you first, the summer of rebirth in a way. We finished the week on May 16th with our Scorpio total lunar eclipse, the finale of eclipse season, the last one, conjunct the South Node. Major release, a major purge. This is a time to really, really let go of any physical things around you that you just don't need anymore, that remind you of anything that doesn't feel good to you. Any mental clutter, beautiful time to let go of what you just do not need in these next 6 months. We can be a whole new version of ourselves in these next 6 months after summer solstice on the 21st of June. So take this opportunity of this total lunar eclipse to think about, okay, what is it time for me to just let go? So let's pull some cards for this major week ahead. Five of Swords, 10 of Wands, and the 6 of Pentacles. So, yeah, it is time to let something down. And it's time to really think about, okay, so what is it time for me to let down? What is draining my energy? What is just not as I thought it was going to be, maybe, or what is not making me feel the way that I want to feel? What is impeding on my ability to enjoy the process of doing my work in the world? That's the goal, right? We want to enjoy the process. That's the ultimate goal. What is really standing in your way around doing that? This is a time to reassess how we're operating and how we're taking things on and the beliefs behind that. Are we taking too much on because we fear that, we're not enough if we just show up and be present, or just focus on one thing, just to focus on the one thing that we really want to do? Really looking at the underlying beliefs around any sort of like extreme tendencies right now. And with the Five of Swords, major opportunity for forgiveness here. Taking back our power with Jupiter and Aries. We're taking back our self-concept from anyone else who gave that to us or gave us any idea about how things are about relationships, or how things are about work, how things are about life. We get to change that now. And with the Six of Pentacles, we can really see the impact of the work that we do to reimagine, revise, and reassess shit in our life in terms of like how we're acting and how we're contributing to our relationships and the situations that we get ourselves into. We can see the direct impact of that coming back to us quickly this week. Like, eclipse season is a time when time is accelerated, right? Like, this is, karma is activated. We see what is not working, we can change, and then we see things change. We can really see some shifts. So what do you want to change, and what needs to change about how you're giving of yourself and how you're making yourself available to other people, and what you're asking for? We have to really embrace that going with the flow. Like, with this eclipse season in Taurus and Scorpio, a lot of navigating our way between extremes, right? Releasing any clinging, any paranoia, any obsessing, and sort of just, okay, so finding a sense of balance and finding a sense of ease and finding a sense of grace. What if you trusted that you were actually going to get what you need? What if you trusted that you would always have what you need? How would you just operate then? What is it that you actually want? What is it you actually value? We can ask ourselves some really big questions this week, and the way that things were going in the past and how the past led to this moment doesn't need to mean shit moving forward. We can change all of that. What if? The Five of Swords, Ten of Wands, Six of Pentacles, I see centering ourselves in a new way in our life, understanding what that means in a whole new different way, getting less egoic about it. I'm not worth it, or whatever. I can't ask for this. I can't do this. Jupiter in Aries is going to help us to get fearless. So much learning, I think, this week. One more card for this week ahead. The Hierophant. So the question of what is it that you actually want is huge this week. As Jupiter moves into Aries, Jupiter values, ethics, philosophy, ideals, moving into Aries, the sign of the self. What makes your life worth living? What practice, what activity, what connection, what community, what form of education or connection to something like that? Really coming back to that and thinking about, okay, so it's time to just commit to that and be about it. Be about it and not be about any other clutter. Any Five of Swords clutter, Ten of Wands clutter. What's just clutter? The Hierophant is like what's meaningful to you, to you, to you, not necessarily how other people are doing anything, right? The Hierophant invites us to be our own Hierophant, to think for ourselves and trust ourselves. And that doesn't mean that we don't need external, guidance or insights or whatever, but it means that we're at the end of the day, the leaders here. We are in charge of our lives. Whether we like it or not, we are. So if we're not living in alignment with our values, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Who are we living for? All right, let's pull a spell casting oracle card. Dreams. Beautiful. Nice big full moon in this card here. Look out into the night sky and observe the constellations shining back at you, for it's the stars that point you in the right direction of your dreams. With this in mind, take some time to decide what it is you wish to come true. Whatever you choose at this time will work out well, so take the opportunity to focus on a lifelong dream or ambition. Go to bed with a sense of excitement, for you're going on a journey as you always do, whether you're aware of it or not. Acknowledge the dreams that you have, for each are intertwined with meaning and messages to assist you in your awakened state. Oh, my Lord, do I think we ever need to hear that right now, because eclipse dreams are popping off right now. And it's really, really important to remember that our dreams do have important insights for us, right? I believe that our dreams can tell us what's going on in our psyche, right? So write them down and spend some time doing that while Mercury is retrograde. That's the medicine. My loves, I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings for this week ahead. If you would like a reading with me, hit the link in my bio. I would love to serve you.